everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom and I have just witnessed Ipswich 1, Wigan 0. Ipswich finally get themselves a win. I'm not quite sure what I just saw quite resembled football. One of perhaps the worst games I've seen in a long time, but the players do not take all the blame for that. It was horrible conditions in Ipswich. Howling wind, blowing, swirling around. I kept looking at the flags, said 1 minute this direction, 1 minute the next. Second half, pouring down with rain. It did take on the feel more of a kind of circus freak show. But Ipswich scrapped on through and they get the win. My goodness me. Ipswich unchanged. Gherkin in goal. Back four, Spence, Chambers, Pennington, Knudsen. Chalobah was the sitter. Nolan and Downs in front of him. Lancaster off to the right. Sears off to the left. Jordan Roberts still up front on his own. Wigan 4-2-3-1 here. Walton in goal. James, Kipre, Byrne with a U, and Connolly is the back four. Evans and Morsey sitting in midfield. Byrne with a Y. Windass and Roberts are the three off. Grigg up front. So I'll try my best with this. We've got two Roberts and two Burns in this game. As I said, the conditions did get progressively worse during the day, but you could tell first 5 or 6 minutes, maybe 10 unforced errors, ball being given away left and right, holding up in the wind. So you could see straight away that it was going to be a case of, right, who's going to play the conditions better and who's going to take the least risks and make the least mistakes. On 9, nice work down the right between Lancaster and Nolan. Nolan crosses to the back post. Knudsen's up. He doesn't quite win it at first instance, but it kind of then bounces off him, prodded goalwards, and Walton tips it round the post there. On 19, Lancaster, dangerous free kick into the near post. Was it a cross? Was it a shot into a dangerous area? I think it was Callum. Connolly flicks his head on that and puts it over for a corner. On 20, lovely ball down the right channel by James. A great first touch by Windass, possibly off his thigh. Puts him into the box, into the right-hand corner. Quite far right. He takes on the shot and drags it well wide. I've written on 25. It was just really bad. I don't want to go on big rants about how bad it was, but it was a terrible game, and I was starting to get the idea on 25 minutes that the players were not really able to function any sort of level of football. Passes going astray, miscontrols, wind in their face, rain in their face. Not pretty at all. 29, Wigan probing down the right. Byrne back to James. Lovely cross in this one. Curls it in, arcs it from the right-hand side. Grigg and Windass arriving, flashes past the post. Ooh, good player that James. He's a Chelsea loanee, and it showed. 31, Wigan on top now. Connolly down the left. Chambers doesn't clear it. Byrne shoots and Chambers gets back to block there. 35, what a chance this is for Ipswich. Chambers, who was actually quite composed in all of this, steps out, plays it into Roberts. I'm not sure it went quite as he intended, but he flicks it with his right foot. It goes right down the middle. Sears is in on goal. He's actually got quite a lot of time, possibly too much time. He drives into the box. He's slightly to the right. He could probably have another 2 touches. He winds back his right foot and smashes it, and it's way over the top. Oh, good chance for Sears on his form at the moment. 4 goals already under Paul Lambert's tenure. We expect at least to hit the target there, but these players couldn't really get their bearings in the awful conditions. 41, absolute havoc from James's corner, bobbling around in the box. Connolly shoots from 6 yards. Again, Luke Chambers makes the block. There's not really much I can analyse in that first half, football-wise. The players are just trying to stand up and complete passes and not make any mistakes. But that one standout moment, great chance for Sears there. Should have put that away. Fairly even, I guess, 0-0, fair at half-time. Nobody really standing out either way. Just a huge struggle for the conditions. Second half is just going to be a case of play the conditions, play it as a one-off game, and who makes the least mistakes is probably going to nab a goal and get the win. 49, Chalobah, yellow on Shipray, bumps into him. And then Connolly, straight away, yellow for him. He takes down Lancaster. 57, big boot forward by Byrne. Gets to James. He's 1v1 with Knudsen. We need to talk about Knudsen. At the end, he's kind of there, but he's not there in the head at the moment. James works him. We seem to be saying every time someone runs at Knudsen, don't let him cross it, don't let him shoot, and every time something happens, James engineers it just to the right, he smashes it. I don't know if he took a little nick off Knudsen, flies past Gherkin, it's going across and it hits the bar. Really unlucky there for James. On 60, Vaughan comes in for Grigg. I totally understand that substitution. Grigg's all about pace and running in behind. I think this game all became about hustle and bustle and holding your position in the conditions. Roberts straight away puts a corner in. This is Gary Roberts from the right, headed out. Chipray lobs it back in. Connolly's watching it down, hits it on the right foot on the volley. Better chance than he thought. Over it goes. Wigan edging it at this point now in the second half. Edwards replaces Lancaster. Hard game for anyone, let alone a 18-year-old who's only started 3 games in his lifetime. 65, all Wigan now. They're really probing. They've got the territory, fullbacks forward. They're doing well, but lo and behold, on 67 minutes, I said, who plays the conditions better? Who makes no mistakes? And Wigan are going to make the mistake, and Ipswich get the goal. Really, really bowling shoe, ugly goal, this one. Down the right goes Edwards. He does well, he hustles. The clearance is then forced up the line, so Edwards does need to take some credit. Goes to Chalobah. Chalobah out on the right wing, quite a deep position. He lobs the cross into the mixer, as the Michael Cox book would say. And from this moment on, it's just chaos. Roberts does make a nuisance of himself. Bibbly bobbly bib bob out to Sears. He barely even gets a good contact on the right foot. It's a right foot half volley. We saw him score from this position against Bristol City with a brilliant finish. It bobbles towards the goal, and poor old Walton in the goal goes down to block it, completely fumbles it into the net. But Ipswich are bottom of the league. They've won 1 game all season. I do not give a shit how that goal goes in. In it goes into the corner. As I said, Wigan had just been on top. Sears with his 5th goal under Paul Lambert. I think 5 in 7 games for Sears. So he's doing the business there. Horrible defending, horrible mistake by Walton. But you got to play the conditions, and Wigan didn't quite manage it at that point. On 70 minutes, here he comes, Mr. Shithouse, Joe Garner. I love him though. Replaces Josh Windass. Dazelle comes in for Flynn Downs. I thought of all the people to come in here, pretty player Dazelle, but in he comes and sort of sits in the 10 position. More 4-2-3-1 now to defend this lead. Roberts down the right on the edge of the box for Wigan. He gets taken down right on the very, very edge. They wanted a penalty there, the Wigan players. James steps up, puts that one over. This is the first of 3 free kicks. I've missed Joe Garner. Runs along with Jonas Knudsen, stops, lets him bump into him and wins the free kick. Ipswich have missed that this season. Really dangerous one. Roberts takes this one with the left foot, puts this one over. McManaman comes in for Byrne on 80. Yellow for Roberts, sliding in on James. Got the ball, got him with his follow through, much to the ire of the crowd. The crowd kind of venting a lot of their nervous, anxious energy towards the ref here On 84, Knudsen, as I said, he's there in body but not in mind at the moment. He tries to shepherd it out. He dallies a bit. Cross goes over and it's headed over from 6 yards. Ooh, don't take the risks, Jonas. Very, very risky business. On 86, a third dangerous free kick. We saw Reece James put one of these in from this spot against Leeds. Chalobah's a bit clumsy and the ref is all over it at the moment. Sorry, let me just turn the heating off in my car. I'm just boiling myself after freezing my arse off for 2 hours there. He goes around the wall. I think Gherkin's comfortable, but again, no chances. Gets his body behind it and just shuffles it round the post as best he can. In goes the corner. Horrible scramble, bouncing about. Oh, they're going to score. No, they're not. It's blocked out. I think Connolly with the final shot. He always gets himself in there. 89, Jackson in for Roberts. 7 minutes of injury time. You're sitting there thinking all of the football gods are against us. We're gonna score in the 96th minute. God, I promise I'm not being a biased home fan here. Where they got 7 minutes from is absolutely beyond me. I think Cole Skews went off with a concussion, a neck brace and an oxygen mask against Norwich earlier in the season, and they didn't manage 7 minutes stoppage time. So, yes, we thought the script was written for a late Wigan equaliser. Byrne with a yellow on Dazelle. And for once, Ipswich get the breaks and they play it out. My goodness me, it didn't really resemble football. Like I said, more like kind of the Hunger Games or some circus sideshow. But they've got the win. Even if you're a good team in those conditions, you do have to just play the wind, play the rain, try not to mess up and get the 3 points. Unfortunately, Wigan did the messing up and Ipswich get the win. It would be better to be coming on here saying, look, they've broken the seal, they've played well and they've got the win. But they played well against Preston, they played well against Reading. They should have beaten Bristol City. So I'm going to take the 3 points and say I'll take as many 3 points between now and the end of the season not playing well as the football universe will give me. Let's talk about Wigan. It was a hard game for both teams. I know they're without Powell, Jacobs, Dunkley, Naismith, all sorts of people. So they were a bit of a sitting duck for Ipswich today. Between 50 and 65, they were well on top, funnily enough, up to the goal. So they gave it a good go. But I think if you're a Wigan fan, you can write this one off just on the ridiculous conditions that the game was played in. Any team could have lost that game today. Unfortunately, it's Walton who's going to get the grief probably from the Wigan fans for shuffling that fumble, spooning it into his net. So there you go. From an Ipswich point of view, a clean sheet. So I suppose Gherkin and the back four get a tick off. I found Chambers quite composed and he did show good leadership qualities in this game. He wanted the ball in the horrible conditions and his passing was actually better than a lot of the midfielders on the pitch. Note that chance for Sears came from Chambers stepping out and playing it through. Fullbacks are still struggling for Ipswich. And like I said twice already, Knudsen seems there in body but not in mind. He's trying to do a professional job, but I'm trying to read his psychology here. It does look like he wants out. If he can get a move and a pay rise, maybe even to Germany where there's been a link in January, I think he would happily go. We know the contract's expiring. In the midfield, bit of a mess. Chalobah had an impact on the game, but things didn't quite come off. What we'll say is John Nolan, I thought, was way more composed than a lot of the other Ipswich players here. Looked very calm on the ball, and we heard from the Shrewsbury fans that the number 10 position we saw him in earlier in the season may not suit him, and a bit further back. And I thought he played quite well today. Downs puts himself about, which was necessary today. Lancaster, bit of a struggle for him. He needs to learn very quickly when he's playing on that right side that defenders are... There's now information on him now he's played these few games. They're going to show him his right foot a lot, and he needs to maybe do some problem solving there and work out ways and means, and maybe work on the right foot a little bit. But certainly loads of promise for Lancaster. Look, you're 18 playing in those conditions, playing at this level, can only be a thumbs up. Sears, well done. Again, he's the one who gets the goal. Probably not his proudest goal ever, but hey, we'll take them any which way. Poor old Jordan Roberts up front. I went to the football with my dad today, and I was discussing it with my dad. This guy is not a championship player playing badly. He's evidently a League One or possibly even League Two player playing out of position, trying his absolute heart out, but struggling so badly. Everything is bouncing off him, and I suppose he did put the flick through for Sears, so I give him credit for that. But it seems fairly obvious that come January the 1st, he's probably not going to be starting games as soon as whoever comes in on loan that Lambert's told us he's looking at. So fair dues to Roberts, but it's a bit of a patronising bless him from me, trying his best but struggling. Looking ahead for Wigan, obviously they need to sort out this away form, but they will be able to argue that this game is an outlier and the conditions just made it a bit of a freak show. For Ipswich, I would prefer to be saying they played well and they finally got their win from playing well, but who cares? They got the win. They've played well and not got the win before. Sheffield United come in next week. Sheffield United are a good side. You'd almost take another tornado rainstorm and a 1-0 win with a scuffed goal and a goalkeeping mistake. So Sheffield United is going to be a different kettle of fish next week. Very, very good side up the top there. But we can get that monkey off the back. The first home win of the season. When did they last win at home? I can't even think. Drew with Millwall, away win at Reading. Barnsley? McCarthy's last game? Well, so Ipswich haven't won for most of a year at home, and it must be another 10 games or so since the Swansea game. So, look, the win has come. I'm happy enough about that. It's only Sheffield United, QPR, Borough, and then we get to the January transfer window. So 3 more games to go. A few more points would be nice, and then we'll take it from there. If you are watching and you're a Wigan fan, tick this one off and blame the conditions possibly. Where do you see the season going? It looks like there's plenty enough teams worse than you guys in terms of the relegation struggle, but need to sort out some away points. If you're an Ipswich fan, did we learn anything? Did we learn more about the spirit and maybe turn around a bit of luck and psychology stuff today? I don't know. Who cares? They got the win. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. Let's be civil and polite and have some fun and not be insulting like people like to on the cesspool that's the YouTube comments. Sometimes we've got some really good commenters on here, so I'm referring to the nice people here. If you enjoyed the review, give me a thumbs up. If you a Championship fan here for the first time, hit subscribe. Loads of content. I'll do a review, and I will be at Forest and Derby on Monday night. Really looking forward to that. Blue Monday podcast tomorrow night for you. Ipswich fans, I am going to go. Do you know what I'm going to go and do? I'm going to admit it. I'm going to go and watch Norwich on Sky. And hopefully the day can become, let's not be biased, even better. Thank you for watching. See you very soon. Goodbye.